Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another interview. I am, of course, joined by, one of the smiliest men in the entirety of esports. We've got BaddyG. How you doing today, bro?
Hello. I'm very good, thank you. And you?
I'm not bad. I'm happier now to see your smiling face once again. Now, I wanna jump straight into things. We were sort of talking a little bit about this before we went live. Most people in esports, I have a general idea of where they came from, what they do. Like, I look at people like Mixer, I'm like, I was in CS, he's been a streamer, he's done so many different things. I was trying to find out about what BaddyG did before. I think I found one HOTV page of you playing CSGO, and then there was a game called Zula, which I've never heard of, and there were some clips of you playing that. So please explain to me and to the viewers, what on earth is Zula?
I will start from the beginning. Like I started with CS, like as most esport players, and
Yeah.
I played it a lot. Like I grinded CS a lot. I was on like 10 or 20 LANs tournaments in Poland.
Okay.
So I started pretty quickly, I would say. Like I was like 14, 15, 16, something like this, and I started going LANs, some playing so like tier 2 Polish tournaments, and from day to day my friend told me like, look, there's like some game like looks literally like CS, let's try to play it like just for fun after practice. I'm like, yeah, why not? It was Zula, and we started playing for fun. And at that time we couldn't succeed in ESEA advanced, if I remember correctly, so we were like, okay, like let's just have some fun in a few days in this Zula, because in like 2 weeks there was like big qualifier for international tournament in Turkey, and we are like, yeah, why not, let's try. And in Zula, there is like a system that you need to actually upgrade your weapons, like in some MMO, so you can have like
Oh,
your
okay.
like in Valorant. Imagine you have like Vandal plus 5 plus 6, so it's like 6 levels of
Super
weapon, and each
Vandal.
yeah, and each level gives you something else. Like I don't know, you can faster reload. You can
All
you can
right.
run you can run a little bit faster. You can like open your ADS a little bit faster. So literally everyone in that tournament had everything upgraded for like hundreds of euros, and we were like noobs with like +2 +3, like absolutely nothing. And we actually ended on like third position, and only
Oh,
2 teams
okay.
qualified. So we were really kind of like, yeah, like we don't have anything to play in CS, let's try to play there. And we started playing bragging against, like, we had like in Poland we had world champions here,
Mm.
that I joined a few months later. And actually it came out of nowhere that we started playing Zula, and it was fun. I must say it was fun. I had good friends with there that actually even played Valorant, like Ubreak from Tenstar played it.
Okay.
Uh, yeah, so even Incredible, I don't know if you know him. He's playing right now. He was playing standing for Anonymous, but like
Mm.
everyone, like they moved into Valorant, and overall, like when we played Zula, it was fun. We were playing, and after that, I joined world champion team. So we started playing some tournaments and everything. And for like a 16 years old guy who is winning tournaments and like actually experiencing how the team should work, it was like super fun for me. Also, like I was winning some money, so it was like easier to. I was actually like when I was like 15, I was started living on my like own bills, because like
Oh,
I could
okay.
I could handle myself with the winnings and everything. So it was like two things like were working. Like I had a team that I really enjoy playing with, and I was like earning money, so I could spend it somewhere, especially when I was young. So like this, like we started playing. We were supposed to go to world champs again with like
Mm.
$250,000 prize
Oh,
pool.
okay.
It was like unbelievable prize pool, and we qualified, we practiced, and in the day we were supposed to book the ticket. uh, Admin said, guys, world, it's postponed, and we're like, all right, like give us the update. And it still never happened. So it was
So you
postponed
might get
to
the call
nowhere.
up one day. It might. He'll be like, "Guys, we're back."
Yeah, we will see how it goes. Even though like European servers are totally dead, this game is only in Turkey. And what I know is, like, fun fact, that Sinet was also playing Zula.
There
I
you
think
go.
I practiced against him a few times when we were playing on Turkish servers. I don't remember that like fully, but I know he was playing and we were playing. So
Mm. Did you
we,
win? That's the question. Did you win?
I think we did, because
You
like
did, of course.
when we were practicing on Turkish servers, we were like world champs and everything. So there we had like no issues with like winning with everyone. I
Mm.
mean, it's not super like humble, but like, yeah, we were like winning almost like every possible match. I think we had like in the whole year we were playing, we lost only one map, so it was like
So there you go.
pretty dominance.
We can say that we've got the greatest Zula player currently.
Pretty
in the
dominant
team.
scene was in Zula. Yeah, like I think I was chosen for MVP like few times of like whole European champs and everything, but I'm like
Mm,
I gained the experience there. So
yeah.
and after that, at the end of Zula, it was perfect timing when Project A was released.
Oh, okay.
And I was like watching everyone, like streamers playing Valorant. I'm like, I want to play. I want to play. Please give me the key on Twitch. And the first day, nothing, nada. Second day, like 3 a.m., I'm still watching, like one eye open, and I'm like, I got the key. And I'm like, I started screaming. I'm like, I got the key. I got the key. And I actually woke up my parents. I'm like, oh fuck. I'm like, I jumped into the game. I played some like how is it called, like range. I played some few minutes. I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna grind since tomorrow. And here I am still grinding. But it was like awesome, like beginning of the journey, like actually screaming and waking up my parents that are like waking up very soon, like in few hours to go to work. I'm like, yeah, I got the key. Let's play Project A. Woo! So it was funny history actually.
Oh my god.
And Valorant started, and here we are.
So what I wanted to ask, just before that, what was it that got you into gaming? Because you just said you're waking up your parents at like a very young age playing video games, but like, what was your influence? Like, did someone in your household play it? Is it because obviously video games or shooting games, especially in Poland, is massive? Like, you got the likes of Virtus Pro, which basically captured the hearts of everyone for years. So I want to know, like, what got you into it? What was the sort of first thing that made you want to try and be pro? Because you said you did it by 14, so that's pretty ridiculous.
Well, I remember, of course, like Virtus Pro was like huge achievement in Poland, and
Yeah.
overall, like, we were all talking about Virtus Pro and CS:GO, and I think that was when I started like playing, when I bought the CS:GO or something like this.
Mm.
Like maybe it was like earlier or before the IEM or like after. I don't remember like correctly. And I started my whole like gaming journey with like PlayStation 3 playing Call of Duty.
Mm.
And I was like going back from school like playing Call of Duty, playing FIFA with my friends or something, and it started from there. Like my dad and my brother were playing a lot of the games, maybe like not
Okay.
never FPS game, but like more like MMO, like Heroes game or like I don't know, right now Witcher, Gothic, something like this. So
Yeah.
they were playing like this fun games. I'm like I was playing football since I was like 7. So I had that competitiveness in my head, in my body. So I wanted to like compete versus like everyone. And I got injury. So when I got injury and I had to literally like lay down for like a whole month, because I broke something in my leg, so I couldn't even
Oh,
stand up or
Jesus.
sit. So I was literally laying down like mattress, and I was like
Yeah.
I had like big pillow in my back, and I was like playing. I had keyboard on my stomach and a mouse pad on the second pillow, and I was playing the CS:GO. And that's the time that actually made the biggest progress. And it was the weirdest thing was like getting used to playing back on like my normal setup. But yeah,
Wait,
like
what rank did you get to while playing in bed on your pillow?
I think I got like 9 or 10 level of face it at that time.
What? What?
Yeah, I was I
Man is
was
playing
global.
lying in bed. Imagine if you're the guy on the other team and you're just like, I'm getting fucked up by some kid lying in bed with his pillow.
Uh,
Like,
I would
what?
love to try that again. I would love to try that again for like one day, like playing Valorant, let's say, like making a stream, laying on bed and playing the game. I would like really. It was like I was used to that because I was playing for like a month or like month and a half, so it was fun and everything. And it sounds ridiculous, but it is what it is. And that was the time that I felt like I can't compete anymore in football. Like I want to
Mm,
compete in like games. I was watching like TeamSpeak with like pro players. Like I'm like, wow, I love it. I was watching like everyone going up on the big stages. I'm like, wow, I want to be there. And
mm,
like it was like something that I wanted to do when I like watched the happy action on Inferno. Like killing Fortress. I'm like, oh my god, like I
yeah.
want to be like that. And right now, like for example, me and Happy are talking very often, and we are on good terms. I'm like, wow, like I was watching this guy when I was like 15, killing 5 guys through the smoke on banana, and I was like screaming in my room, like, oh my god, what is he doing? And right now we are like big chilling and talking sometimes. I'm like, wow, like this is the progress that I made, and I'm really proud of. Yeah, and like overall story, like I always wanted to compete. Like I have that like spirit of competitiveness in my head. And
Yeah.
for me, like the most important thing is like I remember uh, Taz from Virtus Pro said once that what's the important thing for him in esports? Like when you go on LAN tournament and you win in final and you shake hands with someone that lost, and you know
Mm.
in his eyes that you are better than him, you know, that you are better in the game. Like it sounds like, for me it's like super motivational, you know, because like you shake hands with someone that you won against, you know, and he knows
Mm.
that you are better than him in the game, you know. And that was something that like I had in my head since that time, and I stick with it, you know. Like I want to be the best, and
Yeah.
I'm gonna be the best at some time.
Well, it's funny as well because Taz is also known as one of the probably the nicest people in esports. Like I think for many CS:GO fans, it was like the classic Olofmeister moment where he's getting booed and Taz goes out. So to say that he was like looking in the eyes of opponents, being like, "I beat you," I can't imagine that as much as like some of the other stuff where he wants to be almost like he wants everybody to enjoy themselves, but at the same time he's thinking, "Well, I won."
Like like that's the competitiveness, you know. Like that's the like spirit of that. Like you cannot like succeed when you don't feel that like anger in you to like win,
Yeah.
you know. Like you don't want to feel better than someone because you won, but you want to like work hard to win against someone and like feel
Yeah.
that emotions of winning, and like that like feeling like I did good job, you know. It was worth to grind and everything. And yeah, like we have something in common apparently.
So I want to now move into Valorant because you kind of my next questions were going to be like how you got there, but you've already answered that on your own. So I want to talk about Ballista because for many of us, Ballista was a team where you kind of appeared out of nowhere, fucked everyone up, and then disappeared. It was a bit of an odd roster, but like how did that roster start? Because you've sort of mentioned that I think you knew maybe a player or two from some previous games, but like as said, like that team was just very, very good from a very fast stage in Valorant.
Yeah, overall, Ballista was created by in weird moment, because there was like one org joining making a team in Poland. It was like Entropic, if I remember correctly,
Yeah.
and they wanted to like take Patitek, Molzi, Nex, and they wanted to like add 2 players and just create the super team in Poland. So everyone was trialing there, and the leftovers of those trials were like probably like some Ballista like me, more fun, Bolt probably. So we were like, just try to play something together, you know.
Mm.
No one believed in us, you know, because like QXV was like unknown a little bit. Kareme was also unknown. Like I actually I met Kareme in ranked. I'm like, You're good. I want to play in my team," you know. And he's like,
Fair.
"Yeah, I never played in any team before." I'm like, "Yeah, this is the time you will start to play with the team," you know. And he's like, "All right, all right." And me and Morphan was like captain there, and we created a team. We bring Bult. I don't remember the story of Bult actually. I think it was Morphan who bring him. Never mind. Like we are like good packs of 5, and we're practicing. We bring our coach like Yao,
Mm.
and we didn't expect that we're gonna succeed. We were just practicing, you know. We were like doing some things that were like a little bit out of meta. Hashtag Phoenix on Icebox.
Yeah. Phoenix on
BaddyG approved.
everything.
Yeah, but on Icebox actually we had an idea how to use him, but we just they just wrecked us. In
With it.
terms of like it was us and match, but it was like fun playing with Ballista, you know. Like we start playing like some quals in Polish tournaments. We're like in Polish tournaments we weren't that good, you know, but like when there was like a time for playing for European qualifiers, we didn't expect
Yeah.
we're gonna play that good. We didn't expect that we're gonna go close and play for. I think it was like HSDIRR,
Yeah.
if I remember correctly. There was like Swedish team, and like we are gonna play them really. Like what else we can do? Like we have nothing to lose. Like let's play, you know. And that's what I think the real gaming started for Ballista. You know, when we won against them, and we're like, oh my god, we are we even able to play that good? Oh my god, that's outstanding, you know. And it started from the like I don't remember who we played later, but like it was very fun, and
Well,
this is how Ballista
that was one of
started.
the things I was looking at. So you beat Honk, which for a long time
Oh,
everybody was
honk.
talking about was like a team of up and coming players. It had been for a long time. You then beat a small, very unknown team called Fnatic. That one was very interesting for us because that was when you sort of hit the broadcast and we were like, Fnatic, they're playing off against this sort of like young Polish team. And
On
from what I
bind.
remember, yeah, you absolutely shit on them. And you played one of the most like I've never seen firstly I've not seen much Phoenix on bind period, just in general. That wasn't the most common thing. But it was also just how aggressive, like I'm pretty sure you were fighting them in their spawn. Like with just how much control you were taking. So it was like was that team almost just pure confidence? Like it got to a point where we beat this team. Okay, we probably shouldn't have beaten them. We beat this team. I didn't expect to do that. And then it's like you got to Fnatic, and it's like, well, fuck it. What's the worst that can happen?
I think it was mix of both. We're prepared really good.
Yeah.
We had like whole strat book created. Us like I think Lothar was impressed by our Haven, and I think everyone was impressed by our Haven because no one played Haven in that way that we played that time. And that was like the thing that I said at the beginning. We were like trying to find the comps that actually fit us, and we are having fun of, like we were just trying to find the things, some setups and everything, and the things that were working, we just like saved it and play on official. And of course, like after first match, we gained some confidence on. If not, I don't remember if we played first or versus HSD or Honk. I think it was HSD. After
Mm.
HSD, like the Swedish mix, we had some like a lot of confidence in us. After that, there was like a Honk. We knew that they are super good and everything, but we are super confident that our setups actually works, and we fully believed in. So we just played another match. Like it was nothing. Like we played nothing and just show ourselves. And we actually won. So it was like
Yeah.
another amazing game. I think it was like pretty consistent, like to 5 to 6 when I check right now. And
For Honk, you smashed them.
yeah,
Yeah, I
and
think you
that
absolutely
and
obliterated them. Like,
yeah, and after that was Fnatic. And I'm
mm.
like guys, like we beat like House Zero, we beat the Honk, like why we cannot beat them, even though they had like 100% of win rate on bind. I'm like, guys, like confidence and just stick to basics, and we
Yeah.
stick to basics.
So I think that was the one where you actually qualified for like the Masters event as well,
Yes,
and you
that was
played. It was
qualifier.
unfortunate because you lost to the second place team and the winner. So you basically had the unluckiest run maybe in human history. The thing is, I
I'm used
like
to that.
the
We'll
thing.
go to that, but I'm not kind of unlucky. So
The thing I want to say though is why. So from what I know, you then left that team, or whether you left of your own accord or for other reasons.
hmm.
That was a pretty big surprise for me, at least, because I would say Ballista's success in that tournament, I think you overachieved what most people would have ever thought was possible. So why was that the moment that you went, okay, now it's time for me to move on and go to another squad?
It wasn't that I left. It was more like after Heretics game when we were like super close to like a team that actually smashed everyone. Like,
Yeah.
well, let's be honest, like Heretics was the best team in the Europe probably at the time, and we were like super close to that. And versus Ascent, we just never played a versus team that played that aggressively towards
Mm,
us and like mixed style. So we lost, and it was like pretty good run for us anyway. That I'm still proud of the score that we achieved versus Heretics and
yeah.
overall. And what happened later? I got trial offer from Excel, and in terms of like our team was not that experienced in terms of like trials and everything, how esports actually works. And when I got the offer, I went to our CEO and just communicated that I got the offers and we should like tell the team. And we did. But when I went on trials, like people felt super offended that I want to leave them. I'm like, guys, like just like
Mm,
really big organization that wants to trial me. Like nothing is like nothing is signed and everything. I just want to go on trials. And I went for trials. It was super good, and I had contract on my table, but it went out that they go for happy at that time. So I was like with no team, and I'm like, okay, guys. So I didn't go. I don't go with Excel. Like, what's the next plan? And they're like, we don't want to play with you anymore, because
oh,
like
for
our
God's
trust,
sake.
we don't have trust in you because like you left us once and you'll do it again. I'm
Mm,
like, guys, like everyone doing that in Europe. Like you go on trial because you got the offer from like really big org. I think in Ballista we're getting like 150 euros per month, something
oh,
like this. So
Jesus. Yeah,
it was
that's
like
nuts.
everyone was working. Like no, not everyone who had to work, they were working. Like Morphan had
Yeah.
like uni and he had to work as well. So it was like up kind of nothing. But and right now goes like really big org comes in and they said they're like starting with like 20 times that, and
Yeah,
we're
yeah, yeah.
like we're like is it even am I dreaming or something? It wasn't even about the man, but like that something is getting serious, like you might
Mm.
get like chance to show yourself. That was the
Well,
most
that's when
important
it
thing.
goes
Like
from a hobby to a career. I guess that's
yeah,
the best way to put it. It's like right
that's the
now,
step. That's the step ahead.
yeah.
Like you need to make it at some point because you want to show yourself, and this was like perfect time to do it. And actually, I did. I wanted to go. I wanted to go back to the Ballista. Nothing
Mm.
when it didn't work out. They didn't want me back, so So they started playing with Knicks, if I remember correctly. They never succeed in any tournament. They were like in Big Slam, and I was just like, not I didn't have a team, and I was like, I didn't play, they didn't play, and it was like super weird for me, you know. And after
Yeah.
that, there was like, what was it? That Alliance, right?
No, no, I think next was Finest. I think you stood in for Finest, which
Oh, finest. Yeah, yeah, yeah. You're right.
that was
It
a
was
really interesting one because I'm looking at that roster and it had you in it, it had Molesy in it, and I think it had Alive, which as a 3 core, especially at that time, to me looked pretty nuts. Like I would say that team should have been probably a lot more successful than it ended up being. I think the roster didn't do too badly in the early stages, but they were very, very quick to again make changes. And this was the question I want to ask you is like, obviously, I think a lot of the times you've been in and out of different rosters. Do you think in early Valorant teams were way too fast to make moves? Because it does look like a lot of the teams that sort of succeeded, some of them made like drastic roster moves. Like you look at like Fnatic changing things quite regularly, but some of the teams that actually had success, take for example a Gambit, was because they were actually given a lot of time. So are there any rosters that you look back on, be it maybe Alliance, be it Finest, be it Ballista, that you think, okay, if I had 6 months with this team, we could have actually done some damage?
I think that was the time with Alliance with me, Enzo, XMS, and High. I felt that if we would play a little bit more,
Yeah,
then we would succeed because it was like my first trial there, you know, with that roster. Because the second one was like without XMS and with Kada, you know. So I
yeah,
think like the roster with XMS would succeed in my opinion because we played really good, and I had nothing in my head during playing with XMS in that alliance. And overall, like Finest, I think that they had some dramas between each other before I joined. You know, they
ah,
were
okay,
like, they like to change comps. Like someone who was playing Smoker wanted to play Flex after a few days. After that, he wanted to play something else, and it was like changing. The chemistry was like not good wasn't on point. So I was like, okay, like let's do everything what I can, you know, like I'll just show myself and try to do like at some point there was like no in-game leader in some matches, you know, out of nowhere. So I'm like, okay, like guys, let's do this, let's do that. And I think it's like natural. I think they were like on the point that they needed some change, like environment change.
mm.
And it was like last dance, like for us,
Okay,
you know, like I subbed in and it was like last dance, you know, because like they were probably going to disband anyway, no matter if I would join or not. So that was finest. I just wanted to play, you know. I just wanted to play the
yeah,
VCT
yeah,
quals, and I just wanted to like show myself again. I think it was like okay how we played. I think we lost like 1/16. Yeah, I remember correctly. I don't remember.
yeah. I think it was quite late on in the qualifiers. Now,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
next up is where I think things really changed for you in terms of your career, because up until this point, you were duelist, in fact, mostly Phoenix still, which I'll say the fact that you lasted that long just playing Phoenix is a testament to your ability on Phoenix, because I feel like that should have failed a lot longer. Like, even Scream didn't last that long on Phoenix, so you kept it going for a while. But then you played in a couple of different teams. I think you played in Nom and Heat, and that was where we majorly saw your role swap. Like, you started playing controllers, maybe flexing a little bit onto some initiators. Was that an active decision from you, or just what those teams needed? Because I know that now you're someone who's incredibly flexible within the game, but before that point, we hadn't seen that from you.
I would like highlight like one story. I have one story when we played Phoenix, Sky, Killjoy on Vine on Haven. I remember the day after, like a few days after our like VCT match, we were invited to like top Prague group on Prague.com, you know. And
Yeah.
our first scream was versus Liquid, and we are like, I'm in the same lobby in Scream, you know, like I'm like flexing, like look guys, we play versus Scream, you know, and everything, and like I watched Scream like playing CS every day, you know, when he was streaming, and I'm like
Yeah.
I'm in the same lobby with him, like oh my god, that's wow, you know, and they actually copied our whole comp, you know, and they played the what one our comp, and they did like very similar setups to us, and the game plan was like very similar to us. I'm like, yeah, we
I
did
taught
good
Scream
job, you
everything he
know.
knows.
And I think it was the time when he started playing Phoenix on some other maps. But like going back into the subject, what we were talking about? Sorry.
Switching to controllers and
Switching roles.
initiators. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't like because like Phoenix meta kind of ended because that was a time when you played for two duelists, like Jet plus something.
Yeah.
So you could like flex Phoenix, Raze, whatever I wanted to. And the meta changed to Jet only. I didn't like to play Jet, you know. I didn't like the way how you need to play like just dash in, you get killed, and you can't do anything, because I knew that I have some ability that when I go as a second or third guy, I can like I am really good at supporting players at that in the chaotic
Mm.
moments, you know, like holding aerials and everything. So I'm like, guys, I want to like move back a little bit with the role, you know. I tried to play like Sky, Sova. I'm like, it was okay, you know, but I'm like, I will try to play Smoker, you know. I really
Yeah.
liked Astra, and I think it was the time when I played in Nom, if I remember. No, it was at the end of the hit. So I started playing Smoker, and I started really enjoying the Smoker role, because I could call, I could help people, I could even go for duels by myself, I could lurk, I could go with the teams, I could do absolutely everything what I wanted, you know.
Mm.
And I felt like freedom in the Smoker role, so I kept with playing Smoker. Right now, I'm like, as you said, like I'm pretty flex. If there is a team that wants me to play Initiator, I can play Initiator. Of course, it just
Yeah.
needs. I just need a little bit of time to get used to that, because it's not that big change since like Smoker to Duelist, but you just need to like get used to that a little bit. You know, you can't change your roles from day to day. It's super hard. But yeah, it was fun, and I think I found my super comfort pick, which is Smoker. I feel like I'm really good on it, and
Yeah.
in terms of like calling and playing and feeling comfortable with it.
Well, now we get onto what I will call the big opportunity, because this was something that I think definitely came a little bit out of left field, probably for you as well. But this was where you ended up basically ending up standing in for FPX, because for us you kind of disappeared for a while. We saw you, like, I think Alliance was when a lot of people was like, okay, that's where I've seen BaddyG, and then it was a bit of a drop down to like Heat and a few other rosters. You came back from being what was in a very aggressive duelist into the controller role on one of the best teams within the entire region. How did that whole circumstance happen? Like, who were you in contact with? Who did you know, or like, did you trial to get into that team? Because, as I said, for us, it was very much out of left field.
I didn't know anyone in FPX. Like I was like only watching. Like I said that in some interview, I think in Poland. Like I loved the play style of FPX, and I loved how Angel was like leading the team, you know. And I'm like, I want to play with this guy at some day.
Mm.
And after like 1 year, I was like, as you said, like I was in some slump with the teams. Like I couldn't find anything, you know. Like after Alliance, and that I didn't play in Alliance, not because of my fault, because of like some player, uh, like things happening around him,
Yeah.
and it was like weird to play with, and we just like split up, and people start thinking like something must be wrong with this guy, you know, like the first team, second, third team, and it's not working. Like something is wrong.
Yeah, I
And
get
but
you.
it wasn't like it was like okay, and I never felt like I did super bad in something, and it was like something like weird circumstances and everything. And out of nowhere, like Doom is writing to me on Twitter like, "Hey, buddy, we need stand-in for today's pracs." I'm like, "Yeah, bro, like I'm going, yeah." And I'm like literally dancing from my room to this room, like, "Yeah, I'm gonna play." And I came in and I played like first prac, and I'm like first round, so like we had some like of course like some practice tactic training, you know, like
Mm.
them explain me what I need to do and everything. I'm like, I like it, you know, I like how he wants to play me, to put me in the practice. I'm like, all right, let's
Mm.
play. First map, second. I'm super impressed by communication level, by like calmness level, and I think I fit really well into that, even though I was like unexperienced at this top level since like some months, few months, you know. I felt really comfortable there, and we actually were winning a lot of practice and everything. And after like first day, I'm like, wow, like this is environment I would love to stay forever, you know. Like
Mm.
guys are, of course, circumstances weren't like happy, you know. I also felt like kind of bad, you know, because like we knew
Yeah.
not what was happening that time, and I didn't feel like I was like feeling bad that I'm happy that I can be with them, but someone cannot be there with them because of like circumstances in the world, you know.
Yeah.
So I felt like I felt good and bad in some way, you know. I said like I can like give up of this opportunity, but like I hope everyone is safe, you know. Like I want, if I would have choose, like I want to everyone be safe and everything. So I'm like the circumstances are like this, and I want to play, you know. If they need like standing, I'm there. and there was like, oh buddy, do you want to come tomorrow? We also need stand-in. There was like nothing mentioned that they need actually a stand-in for like VCT and everything. I was like, yeah
Yeah.
buddy, can you come tomorrow for to play with us? I'm like, yeah, don't even ask me, of course I'm gonna play tomorrow, and it's like second day, third day, it's like awesome. Everything was awesome. I really loved the chemistry and the like level of like everything. I improved very quickly,
Mm.
uh like in terms of like everything, communication, reading, calling, my decisions making, and I really enjoyed it. And that was the time when uh time to VCT, I felt that something is on going on, because it was like few days until like first match in VCT, and like, buddy, do you want to come tomorrow? I'm like, yeah, sure. And there was a time that, hey buddy, we need standing in the VCT. I'm like, of course.
Yeah, I
And
think I can make the time.
yeah, and this was the time that I felt like this is the chance for me, and of
Yeah.
course I would never expect that we're gonna play that good. Uh we had some one down match versus OG, if I remember, when we lost 2-1, but we fixed that instantly. I think we won versus Liquid, we lost versus OG, and after the OG match we knew what went wrong and we improved that quickly, and we played next matches, which were like successfully won. And that was the time, like, I will always remember to Doom and whole FPX guys, like they gave me the chance, and of
Mm.
course, like, I will always say that was the best environment I could ever imagine to play with. I felt like this is the place that I want to like play at someday. I would love to have team that actually works like that and behaves like that and like chemistry like that. So I was really proud of that what we achieved, and like I will always remember to Doom that he gave me the chance.
He's a good guy. He's a very, very good guy.
I
I,
love Eric.
it's hard not to. I was gonna
Yeah.
ask you. So in terms of pressure,
Oh,
because this
it
is
was it was
you're in a situation where it's a little bit different to sort of most other people. Did you feel more pressure standing in for a roster like that, or more pressure when you're like specifically signed to the team?
I didn't feel any pressure, I must say. Like, I didn't feel like, because hmm, I knew that I don't need to know. I didn't feel the pressure of anything. Like, I was enjoying the moment. I was enjoying, like,
Yeah.
I can play with these guys. I want to like use it fully. It's waste of time to have to feel pressure, to feel stress and everything. I just wanted to play with them. And that was the time that I learned how to deal with the pressure, how to deal with the stress. Because of course, like, when there's like super close score at the end of the match, and if you're like first or second VCT match since like since like a year or something, it's
Yeah.
getting a little bit. You feel that pressure in your heart, that like
Mm.
it's getting close. But I managed to deal with it, and I think I dealt with it really good, and I have that since like today. I still know how to manage it, and it was that, like, I really enjoyed playing there, and no, I didn't have like any pressure on me, I think.
Well, Doombar has actually mentioned. So this is something I wanted to bring up because, especially with partnership, it's a necessity. Doombar has actually mentioned when I interviewed him a while ago, he kind of wishes he could have kept you. Like as a sixth player, as someone who would be there if they ever needed a stand in for prac or stand in for actual matches, as you did, and especially with how much success, like you won the entire season. Did you ever consider sticking with that team? Because obviously it ended with unfortunate circumstances with not being able to go to the event, but like I think there was mutual respect between you and them. So would you ever be that sixth player for them?
I think I don't want like close doors that I will not play at six or something, but of course, like, my first priority is to play.
Of course.
Like, I want to play as much as possible. And the thing is, like, when we were playing when there was a moment in FPX, we were a little bit talking about like six-man roster. But it was a time that we, like, maybe they couldn't like find a way how to make it work fully.
Mm.
And after that, there was like some org decisions, and we are not able to like proceed the talks to like make it. And also, I wasn't like sure if I want to like, I wanted, as I said, like, I wanted to play, so I didn't know how it may be working. We didn't have the talk, and we said like, yeah, like, Angel is back, and I was super happy that Angel is back, because that meant that he's getting better. He's ready to play, he's ready to compete, and of course, like, let him play, and
Yeah.
this was like moment then when it all ended, and I was like super proud of it, like what we achieved, because like day after all ended, like I'm like, we did a good job. And I can like also highlight the situation with the LAN tournament, when I remember I'm chilling in bed in the morning, like
Mm.
happy that we are going, but we felt in bones that we will not go because of the like visas and everything. But
Yeah.
there's always like some space that maybe something will work out. But when I'm opening the Twitter and I see like when I see like first post from this like competitive ruling that we are not going, I was like, I literally like closed myself. I felt dizzy, I'm like, wow,
Ooh.
it happened, like my life chance and my dream that to be on the big stage actually fall out, like it didn't work. I'm like, it was like punch in my in the face, or like knife in your heart that you cannot go, but it is what it is, we need to like move on, and we did everything what we could, so as Doom said in the tweet, that we just need to smile and keep going, that's how we did.
I can see
And
that you always do that. The man who always has a smile on his face. So I think this is the perfect moment to segue on to better times, because I don't think anybody was surprised by the next thing that happened, which was obviously Team Vitality signed you to the team. Like that was straight after obviously working with FPX. It was the moment that I think many people had been waiting for, to see BaddyG finally on a roster full time. Was that something that came in quite quickly after FPX? And did you have any other offers here and there? Because I think you were a hot commodity after showing what you could do in FPX.
it was super fast, I must say. Like I remember asking Doom like, hey Eric, can you, like, the Vitality coach was Tanisk, that he was building the team,
Mm.
can you recommend me to him? I would love to trial. And he's like, yeah, like, bro, like, don't even ask, like, of course I will. He literally wrote to Tanisk, and 5 minutes later, I got message on my Discord, like, invitation pending from Tanisk, and like, yo, bro, like, we set up they had like some long list on smoker players, and they like actually canceled everyone. They put me in like next day
Mm.
for like 3 days of trials. I'm like, okay, 3 days, I think I will show myself. And after like first match, I remember after first match, my agent got message from their GM and like, yeah, can we talk about Buddy already? And I'm like, that's going
I'm
good,
that good. I am that good.
and it was super fast decision, because like I really enjoyed the moment with Vitality, and we had really good core that I still think should play in VCT. We had like me, Bonkold, and Sender. It was like
Mm.
it was really cool, and I didn't feel like that big difference between like FPX and Vitality in terms of like everything.
Okay.
I felt really comfortable there, so I'm like, this is the position I want to be in. And we ended the roster with Hyber and Nathan, and so the history begins with the VRL France. It was hard beginning in the VRL France.
Yeah, I think was it 0-3 to start? Like it was a very slow start, and that I think that was a big. That's another thing you mentioned, that a lot of the times you don't really feel pressure, but at that point, 0-3 with a brand new roster on Vitality, was there a moment where BaddyG went, "Oh God, we really need to win this next game"?
No, no, there was no moment. No, because like I rewatched the VODs and everything. I'm like, guys, look, like there is super close score. Like, look, small mistake of timing or something, and it actually went down. Like, we lost the round, we lost the next round. We had eco, they had a lot of ult, so it's like one small mistakes gave an enemy team an opportunity to like jump with the score, and we were like, guys, like, we fix those small mistakes and we will win, I promise you that, and we all knew that.
Mm.
So we started, like, we had also like support from the management, that they actually like hired a mental coach, Karen,
Mm.
and Karen and Zach overall helped us a lot during the whole season, and I still appreciate the work they put in us, and it helped us a lot, because like players stopped feeling the pressure and everything, and we could like focus on just playing same as we played on scrims, and so the another history begins when we were like literally going up of the score, like first win, fifth win,
Yeah.
10th
I
win,
think it
and
was it
and
8 in a
comebacks,
row or something. I think you
yeah.
won 8 matches in a row to then obviously qualify through. And also, I think individually throughout those 8 games, you are very much at the top of your game. Like, this was another question I wanted to ask you: is like, do you feel like you hit your peak in that Vitality roster? Because from the outside, at least in terms of stats, it really looked like that was where you played some of your best Valorant.
I don't think that's my peak. I think I have
Okay.
like a lot of space to improve on, and I can play a lot better than I played in Vitality, than I played in FPX, because I know like my roof is really high, and
Yeah.
the thing what I need, I'm the player that actually needs some like comfortableness in the team. I need to feel like I need to feel the trust and the communication, everything. When those things are on point, that's where I can shine a little bit. I know it's like weird to say, but like when everything goes okay, I can feel like freedom in my head, and this is the moment when I start my chess game. I like to call it, because like on Icebox on Breeze when I played Viper, actually like I made a lot of chess game. I stick with in head of enemies, and they were like looking at the places that I was 5 rounds ago, but I'm actually on the other side of the map lurking somewhere.
2 steps
So
ahead.
yeah. I think it was. Yeah, I like to compare it to like, remember when Nats was playing on Icebox, pushing through every smoke on mid and literally like
Yeah.
flanking 3 guys and everything. I felt something similar that I could do, and I think like I kind of like, not many people start doing that at that time, but after like few months people learn that this is the way how you should play Viper, and many people
Mm.
started doing that. But yeah, like I think my peak is really high, and I will achieve that, I hope, very soon, when I will find proper team, and I will have chance to shine in maybe next transfer window in a franchise league.
So with Vitality again, do you feel like that team was a slow starter? Because it happened within the season. It happened at VRL finals as well. I feel like we talk about those Polish rosters. One of them came back to bite you with that start for 10 star, which I think that team has just been released. I really liked that roster because of some of the creative stuff they did, but was that one of the problems of Vitality? Because it seemed like you always came back after that initial loss, but those first few games were always like, oh god, what's going on?
Yeah, like we had some moments that I don't know why, but we are losing a lot of rounds in a row. There was like some mistakes that we've made, and actually we couldn't move on with those. We just
Yeah,
had to fix it. But sometimes it was hard to do it. uh, we had some issues. Some players had issues with like moving on with this with those things, and when we were like in busy season, we were able to like fix that at the
yeah.
like playoffs of VRL France and the main season, even though we had some moments that we had to come back from like, I don't know, 10-1 or something, 10-2, and that situation should never happen, in my opinion. That would be never a case that you are losing 10-2 versus someone, and you have
Mm,
to come back. Of course, like if it happens, then it tastes amazing to come back from that score, but in the first place, it should never happen. You need to secure it, to like adjust faster, to fix mistakes faster. So
yeah.
we were slow starters, I would say, and after that we had break after VLR France. I think we had like not enough time to practice before VRL finals. So we came back, we started playing, and we noticed that the mistakes that we fixed in like middle season of VRL France came back, and we were like,
Oh,
Zonk, what's going on? And we had not enough time to fix it, and that's how it showed versus 10-star game. It was awful game by us, and amazing by them. No one of us felt comfortable in that match. We didn't know what's going on. We just felt like out of the game. But it happened. We had to like improve on. So we did, like we knew like, guys, like we cannot, after so hard work we put in the whole season, we cannot just lose second game. So we come back. We just
yeah.
made
And
like, we just fix and come back with the scores and everything. But of course, I was like impressed by the way how the 10-star played, and I
yeah.
knew Bolt would would give everything to win against me that time. And I love this guy, and we are friends still, and we are talking, and it was like real sportsmanship. Like I knew
Mm.
that he wants to really badly win against me.
I will say I would absolutely love to see a team with like you, him, and maybe Maniac on it. Like that I think Maniac is nuts. Like definitely one of my favorite players to watch at the moment. So I think
He's really good.
that would be a cool team. But before we get onto the future and everything else, again, Vitality kind of ended in a bit of a sour way because, like, you had the grand final versus Foot, 2-0 up, completely imploded. Like, I was casting that game. We were gobsmacked that that somehow managed to turn back round the other way.
I hope you
Do
like
do
Bind.
you do you feel like that was you guys rather than them bringing it back? I know that it's much easier to say like, oh, we made our mistakes and they weren't as good as they seem, but like that final seemed like it was yours to lose, and then somehow it just completely imploded.
First map was like I felt like this is our final, like literally it's our final first map. Second map, when of
Mm.
course Bind was like our favorite map, of course. We hate play Bind, I must
Yeah.
say that. And I didn't expect that. I mean, we should never win the Bind, you know. Like I
Was that
had
the
some
one? Was
game,
Did you get like 37 kills? Was it something absolutely ridiculous?
something around that number.
It's just outrageous. Like, wait,
Yeah, yeah.
I want to find the exact number because it was
37, I
genuinely.
remember.
Oh, you remember? It's like this is scarred into my brain. Yeah, you won that game 15-13. You had 37 kills plus 20. The next on your team had was 17. Like, it was BaddyG versus the world at that point.
It was
But
pretty intense game, I must say. Like I didn't know what's going on sometimes because like we were like guys, like let's play what we feel to do, you know. And I felt to play that way, so I did, and we succeed in that. I made some like brave calls in terms like TPs or something, and I was able to like kill three in behind everything, and I felt like a snowball effect, you know, when you start like going really good and you come back a
yeah,
little bit, and you feel like you are owning everyone. Like just do it, you know. I didn't go back. I just went for duels and everything. In clutches, I just knew like I remember the clutch when I just smoked the bomb and that's the fuse. I'm like, you know, like what else what can I do? Like they are two guys on short. There is a bomb for them. They can literally destroy me. I'm like, yeah, I'll tip in the smoke and maybe defuse, you know. And I did. It was pretty interesting game, and
yeah.
overall, like I think it was fine game. You know, we should of course we should never win that game. You know, but sometimes it happens that you can carry the game. You know, it was of course the whole team helped with that, with the utility, with the calls and everything. So it was like 2-0. And unbind, I felt something is not right with like mistakes that we fixed in middle season that I mentioned before, but we didn't fix right now. And on the third map, we started communicating less and everything. So I felt we need to like wake up, and we didn't. And as you asked, I feel we lost that game. we just we just gave them the game. They
Yeah.
uh they played really good because they never stopped believing. They played better and better. The snowball effect from them, but we literally like take out the trophy and gave it to them. You know, it was like this is not the way how I would love to lose without proper fight. But it is what it is. You need to learn from your like lose match like
Mm.
this. When you lose the final in that style, gives you the biggest opportunity to learn from those mistakes, you know, like when you wake up next day and you like you open eyes and like, yeah, we still lost that game, it wasn't bad nightmare, you know, we literally lost that game. And you're watching VODs and like, this is awful mistakes, you know, we
Mm.
all did. And but it happened, you know, you need to like move on and start practicing again. We had some like break after that, like that was the off season for us, and we had to time for making decisions, for talking, for everything.
Mm. Did you think, or do you think if you'd won that game, things would have ended up differently with you still in Vitality? Because I that's one of the things I want to know about. Like, did you feel like you needed to win that final for the roster to continue, or from your point of view, is it like, okay, I am gonna be with this team next season, and then everything was just a huge shock?
No, I don't, I think the that match didn't matter in terms of our roster, because like even though we would win, we would make some changes. And I, I e- until last day I didn't expect that I'm gonna be changed, you know. So
Okay.
it was very weird. I mean, it was not natural decision for me because like we were really good in terms of like uh playing together.
Yeah. No, I'd agree. I think for me, especially, that was one of the biggest surprises. I think that people expected there to maybe be a change or two. I think the step up to VCT was always going to be difficult. It's actually one of the reasons I'm quite surprised that Foot hasn't made any changes. I think maybe that's something that will come a little bit further down the line. But now I want to move on to the future. Because obviously now we do have a lot of teams confirmed. You kind of answered this already, but I'll ask it more directly. Is your goal to be a sixth player, or is the goal to be an Ascension player?
Ooh, I think this is a decision that I'm not gonna answer until I get like more wide perspective of what where I can go, you know, what directions I have.
Yeah.
For now, of course, I would love to play. So probably right now I would choose Ascension team. But
Mm.
who knows how it's gonna be handled, how what teams are gonna like be created in the Ascension League. Maybe I'll like not believe in some team. So I would prefer to like play a sixth and learn from players and
Yeah.
maybe get a chance to show myself. We'll see how it goes in probably like next weeks.
So you've mentioned that BaddyG is hungry to win. So one of the questions I wanted to sort of set up that maybe your agent could clip this out for something a little bit extra. What are BaddyG's goals? Like, is it to have a long career in esports? Is it to win championships? Is it to make as much money as you can? I know that's not the answer, but I'm just setting it up so you can give your own opinion. Like, what does BaddyG want to achieve? Like in 10 years, or maybe in 15 years when he moves away or moves into coaching or whatever, what do you want to have written next to your name?
For me, the most important thing to like find a proper team, you know, that I would love to play with and believe in, which would like last years to like improve on, you know, and not have
Mm,
like pressure that something can be wrong because for now I'm used to that something can go totally wrong because of like business side of esports, you know. And what's my goal? I think I want to be the best, you know. I think I have potential to be the best. And of course, I would love to like go on big stage on like master
mm.
level.
You're owed it.
After, yeah. The Destiny owes me go to the master level tournament, you know. So I have that in my backup. But after masters, I want to go champs. I want to show myself on champs. I want to achieve something, you know. I want to like feel that I grind really hard to achieve something, and that's it. Like I think it's not like big history for me to like what I want to do. Like I just want to like play on the best
Mm,
level. I don't want to like grind at tier two, tier three teams unsuccessfully. You know, I just want to like find a success. You know, I just want to like find a moment that I will feel like that was worth to grind for a few years and do absolutely everything, sacrifice a lot of things in my private life to finally succeed. You know,
I
that's
get you.
in 5 years when I would wake up and I would say like I want something and I mean something in the esports scene. I would love to feel that. You know,
We'll do another interview then. I'll let
I hope so. I hope
I'll
so.
get you in for another one. So, more specifically, what sort of roles are you going for within the team? Because obviously, at this point, we have seen you play basically everything, all the way from Phoenix to Astra. So, what are you looking for as your priority? Obviously, I think you're going to say something along the lines of, "Yeah, I can play everything." But if you were going to go for a full focus, what would that be?
Yoru and Harbor. No, kidding. For sure, like my first my first choices would be like smoker role,
Hmm.
and like second in game leader, like reaction alcohol. I like to say it like when something there's like big chaos when I can help with the call or clear the call. Like basically like second caller and smoker would be the best fit for me. And
Okay.
I would love to learn in like close to the best players in the world to like improve everything, you know? And I think that's the position I would love to be.
Okay, fair enough. So I kind of teased this a little bit earlier. Is there any chance of there being like a full Polish like dream team coming through? Because I know that obviously we've got the likes of Molzy Zeke are going to be within that sort of VCT. There's still some very good Polish players about. I think Starzo's rumored to potentially be going to Koi as well. But is there any way that we will see my dream team come through of like you, Maniac, Bold, a few others? Is it possible?
I'm not sure. I don't know how what future brings us to us, you know, we don't know how it's gonna be. Like of course I think every Polish player would love to play in some like historical Polish roster, you know?
Yeah.
Like we want to like make Valorant Virtus Pro. I think everyone wants mentions like what's the most important for them? Like they want to create like Valorant Virtus Pro, like full Polish roster and succeed. Is it possible? I think it's gonna be super hard to like bring all of the five players in proper time, find a coach and get the org to like sponsor everything and try to succeed, but of
Hmm.
course that would be like awesome idea.
Bring Cuban
I
to
would love,
Valorant. There you go.
yeah, I would love to talk in game in Polish language again. It's been a while, so it's something that you miss sometimes. Not like you just want to like talk with Polish friends during the game. Hashtag Ballista time.
So overall in the Ascension League, I think a lot of people are kind of clueless right now because obviously in North America we know that there's a million orgs. They've all got $1 billion. They're trying to buy every single player up, and they want to try and like basically everybody wants to compete. With EMEA, I feel like there's a few orgs here and there that we know are going to be trying to compete in the Ascension leagues. Obviously, there's all the regional leagues as well. From your perspective, do you think Ascension in EMEA is going to be competitive? Like, are there many teams you're looking at and going, okay, that one's going to be tough to play against, that one I'd like to play for, etc.?
I think there's gonna be only a few teams that are gonna be like between tier one and tier two. Like tier 1.5. I think
Yeah.
the teams that are like I like to call it like leftovers from the franchise, and they're gonna be like 2 or 3 of them in the team, and after that like it's gonna be like prospects from tier two in that team, and I think there's gonna be like 5 or 6 teams maybe that actually have chance to succeed in Ascension. Maybe like
Okay.
2 3 teams that gonna have like stars from last year from the top teams.
Okay.
So I think it might be pretty competitive.
So this is a question a bit from left field because we're going to move on to just looking at some of the teams. I want to get your opinions on stuff. But first, as a look back, you've played with a lot of world class players. Like you've played with artists. We know the likes of Bone Cold. Like there's been so many solid players dating all the way back to Ballista. If you could play with one of those players again, who are you going to play with? Like who are you choosing?
With one player.
One player. I knew otherwise you'd probably just name all of FPX, so I've made it one player.
Whew. I think Shao. I think with Shao, I would love to play again. As you said, like I would love to mention the whole FPX roster with like
Yeah.
coach, including with everyone. But like with the one player that I felt like I learned a lot, it was like definitely a Shao. So that's my choice.
You have named one of the best players in the world, so I can I can understand that definitely being within the list. So just before we finish, I want to get BaddyG's thoughts on Brazil because we've got a lot of top teams going in that direction. Obviously, I think we'll leave the focus more so on EMEA as most of this channel does tend to do. From all the teams we've seen formed, the upgrades, what team are you looking at to be like a really strong contender within Brazil?
From EMEA, let's think. In my opinion, in like I can like make 3 parts of like tiers. I think in like the most
Hmm?
like possible contenders to win the tournament. In my opinion, here is gonna be like Fnatic, Liquid, and Navi. In the second tier, that are most likely to like show themselves, but we'll see how they play. It's gonna be Heretics, Koi, Giants.
Yeah.
And in my opinion, the last one is gonna be Carmine Corp, BBL, Footballist, and Vitality.
Yeah, I to be honest, I think that it's not a bad look. I think Giants are one of those teams that a lot of people are sort of excited to see how they do because they've got an awful lot of very solid players. Now, this question, I don't know if you're even going to want to answer this one, but are there any of those teams that you think could be improved with a little bit of BaddyG?
If they can be improved,
Like who do you think if you go I add BaddyG to that roster and now they move up a tier? What team is that? I'd be surprised if you did just say all of them.
hmm, that's tricky question because like like if that goes live, people can take it like
No, I know, I know.
differently. So I'm still thinking about this question, but like I feel like Vitality,
mm,
maybe Heretics. Mm, And I would love to say Navi, but I know that Angel is leading the game and everything, and he's like the core of the player there,
yeah.
and he gives a lot of quality to the team. But of course, I would love to play with Navi guys, and Angel is my role. But I think like mainly Vitality and maybe Heretics.
Okay. Or you could maybe if you learn Turkish, there's a few. You could try
Maybe,
and
maybe.
stand. I don't know how good your Turkish is already, but those would be some bad things to stand
You
in for.
don't want to know how good is that. My friends from Ranked helps me to learn some Turkish words
Oh,
that
okay.
probably are not that good enough to say loudly.
Yeah, I was about to say maybe don't say them because I don't
Yeah.
want those in the comments. But well. So I think we've already lent into this one, but if you were going to be a sixth player, maybe I'll say other than Navi because I know you're going to say Navi. What team would you love to be the sixth player for, minus Navi, because you would definitely say Navi.
I think if I would have an opportunity, I would choose over Liquid and Fnatic. I
Yeah.
think those two teams are like the most experienced ones, and you have like the biggest chance to learn a lot from them. So
Hmm.
probably that's the duo of the teams that I would love to join if I would join as sixth player.
Yeah. So to finish, I basically just want to give you the stage. So for any team looking for Mr. BaddyG, what are the three things that they are getting if they sign you to their roster?
A lot of smile, a lot of good
Yep.
atmosphere for sure. Loyalty, hardworking guy. I'm the super hard worker, so whenever you take me and you give me like the space to shine, I will do it. And I can say that the team believes in me, that will believe in me, will never say it was uh, bad investment.
Well, I can give you the credit of Mitch himself, as he said, probably his biggest regret as an analyst was not signing BaddyG. But again, thank you very much, man, for joining. It has been an absolute
Thank you
pleasure
so
to
much.
interview you.
Thank you so much. It's been a pleasure.
Well, either way, to anybody, this is obviously another interview. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and follow BaddyG on Twitter because he is he's one of my favorite people in the entirety of esports. I'll see you again next time. Goodbye.
Bye bye.